new perfumes that I've been experimenting with. There's a strange one. That's a strange one. So, despite seeing all the reviews and comments and kind of feedbacks as to Marc Antoine Barbois Ganymede versus Ganymede X-Trade, me being me, I went for the X-Trade. It's a strange one. I mean, it's something. It's strange to an addictive kind of place where I keep spraying it over and over and over. I don't know. I think I sprayed about not less than 7 to 10 mils yesterday out of the 50 ml extract bottle that I have, and it was kind of weird. I don't know if you guys will agree with me or disagree with me, but you may let me know in your comments. I get this minerally kind of marine esque quality. I'm not saying that the marine qualities for Ganymede extract, some of the marine base fragrances, I'll tell you two for a matter of fact. There is a perfume called Overdose from Oman Luxury, and though I love royal incense, I was torn between Dehan and another one of them, Angham, I think it was, dark kind of an oud rose fragrance. Overdose I could not deal with. Oh, and you know what? So last night before going to bed, I sprayed I sprayed Silence of the Seas or Silence the Seas from Strange Love, New York. And whoa, I mean, I think I like Ganymede better. I mean, that is so marine. My wife refused to sleep like facing me last night because I was wearing Silence the Seas from Strange Love, New York. Uh, that is ultra fishy. Um, I don't know. It's just marine. I mean, to an extent that I could not. Ganymede, perhaps I might get around, but my intention is to get the B6A3 X-ray, the B6A3 Ganymede and Ancelot. So Ancelot, I kind of tried at the shop and I liked Ancelot. They didn't have testers for Ganymede and B6A3, but then curiosity got the best of me and I bought the Ganymede X-ray without trying it. I'm not saying it's a hate. It's not a hate. It's just it's enticing. It's intriguing. I don't know what it's like, but yeah. So there are two winners. No, rather three winners that I have from a few of the recent purchases that I've done. I have Rian Intense Incense, which I love. It's a leathery kind of an animalic incense fragrance, which I have fallen in love with. I love Rian Incense Intense. I got Bara Onda as my birthday gift today. My birthday is on October 13th, but nevertheless, I got Bara Onda today, and I love Bara Onda. I love Tony Yomi. I had a 50 mil. I want to get a 100 mil, but it's pricey. Let's see how that goes. Another winner for me is definitely Sauvage, Sawlaj, Sauvage by the house of Kajal. I didn't think I wanted any Kajals, but Sauvage, I took off, I bought it based on a recommendation from one of the YouTube reviewers I follow. I wouldn't call him a reviewer. He's probably a PhD in perfumery. I mean, vintage, new, old, niche, designer. He's been all over the place, artisan, niche, oud, fragrance houses. And he spoke very highly of Sauvage, and I love Sauvage. So Sauvage for me, though he says he didn't get it on initial spray, I got it in initial spray. I mean, there was a perfume that got me, and honestly, he kind of rekindled my curiosity and love for the brand of Roger Dove. He has a hate-love relationship, but as we say, heads and tails are two sides of the same coin, right? So love and hate, and basically perfumes where I say contrast and balance is important. So he got me into Roger, and so even before he got me into Roger, there was a discovery set in which I had the pure distance discovery set, which has about 9 to 12 fragrances. I'm not able to recall it right now, but when we do the video, when I do post a review, and when I do post a review, I will share that kind of a sample set, the discovery set, with you guys for pure distance. And there's a perfume called M, just M, and this is kind of, I don't know if I should call it a vintage, but it is one of the older discovery sets which has been sitting around for some time, and I fall in love with M. It was a dream leather fragrance that kind of reminded me of the vintage Bellamy from Hermes. Though whatever Hermes has reformulated in the current versions are very much worth buying in their current state and form. Hermes does their reformulations good. I think they're a league away from a league above, if I may, from Guerlain, from Dior, and from Chanel, because even Chanel probably is not in the Dior and the Guerlain kind of race where they're doing mass-pleasing fragrances rather than perfumes for the true fragrance connoisseurs. M happened to move me in a way, but by the time it moved me and by the time I got to trying out M from the discovery set, it was already discontinued. I was getting a bottle, 100 ml bottle, but I don't know, it wasn't as intense as the tester I had, maybe because it was sitting for that long. But then I don't know, the discovery, I mean the tester, I think bottle that the guy wanted to sell me just wasn't doing it for me. Plus I think it was watered down, it wasn't exactly, it didn't have the oomph that the discovery atomizer did. And so I went into a kind of exploration, and I came across a few videos from Ramsey where he said is Roger Fetiche pour homme parfum did what M would do. And basically M, the history of M is, so M was a perfume created by Roger Dove himself when he was with Pure Distance and M, and then when he was with Pure Distance, and basically when he moved away from Pure Distance, they had to discontinue the fragrance because there was a secret ingredient, an ingredient that Roger kept secret to himself. So he has these materials that he works with that are exclusive to him. The quality of the materials that he uses is bar none. The materials are expensive. They smell expensive. They smell luxurious. They smell a class above a few of the other fragrances that I've tried from different houses. Roger does stand above in the material. So he kept this material secret from Pure Distance, in which they could not recreate M, and they did a different version. I think it goes by M210 or something. There's a kind of reformulation that's completely fucked up. Sorry for my language, but I don't have any other ways of putting this forward for you guys to understand. Do not buy that fragrance at all. It does not do it for me. But by that time, I kind of got to Roger Fetiche, and lucky me, I got two 50 ml bottles, which I'm blessed, and I barely use Roger Fetiche just for the fear of kind of going through a whole bottle, knowing that I'd either get it if I was to repurchase Fetiche pour homme parfum by Roger Dove, by Roger Parfums, I'd probably have to sell a kidney, which I do not want to do. Jokes apart. So I did Sauvage, and Sauvage reminds me of Bellamy by Hermes, the vintage, reminds me of M, Pure Distance, and reminds me of Fetiche by Roger Parfums. It's priced rather decently as opposed to the pricing for Roger Parfums. Those are kind of ridiculously priced at about now it should be going for more. The time I purchased it, because they had discontinued it, I got my bottles for around 2,500, 3,000 dirhams for 50 mils, and prices would have soared by now. So I have those, and thanks to Solange, I think I can keep those bottles for a little longer. So hang on, it's just a teaser telling you that reviews for Solange, Baraonda, Nazamato. So Nazamato, I have Baraonda, Pardon, let me think what else do I have. I have Black Afghano, Duro, maybe my least favorite from the bunch, and I have a fifth, that's Absinthe. If I was to give you my ranking for the House of Nazamato, for me at present, with only 5 fragrances at hand, though I have 6 bottles, so I have 2 bottles of Pardon, and Pardon kind of reminds me of the vintage Heritage by Guerlain. It's a love. I love Chanel less exclusives, Coromandel. I love what Guerlain brings to the table, the EDT, vintage, heritage, Guerlain. That's Danger, Pour Homme Parfum, Parfum Cologne are similar to heritage, Guerlain, and Guerlain, as you mentioned before, Roger Dove has this, and it's not in a bad, it's by no means in a bad way. Roger has this affiliation with Guerlain for over 20-30 years, I suppose, and so he brings the best out of the best, and he has this twist that he brings to these perfumes. So he's deeply influenced by Guerlain, of course, being with the house for that long, and to say the least, there are many perfumes from Guerlain that are now considered reference fragrances. Like, say, for example, if you were to do a reference vanilla, I think it should be Shalimar. If you were to do a reference, how do you say it? Heritage, basically, kind of the bottle design is like the hand of the pendulum, which kind of goes to the past and references to perfumes of the past from the House of Guerlain, that is Habit Rouge, Icky. I think one of the first perfumes that had a perfume pyramid or many notes together, and before Icky ever came out from Guerlain, there were individual notes that perfume houses would release, like rose, maybe leather, jasmine, and so these were singular notes, right? Highlighting, fragrance based on singular notes. Guerlain Icky was one of the first perfumes that came out with like a pyramid, I suppose, with other notes involved, and that's where perfumery evolved from. So Heritage takes a lot of references from the past and then takes you in a way like the pendulum, the hand of the pendulum goes into the future and what's to come. So a thing that I say about anything in life, actually, to know where you're going, you need to know where you're coming from, right? So unless you have the past, you don't know what the future holds. And so Heritage was a perfume that swung into the past, took shades of everything in the past, and then kind of gave you an idea of what's to come in the future. So Pardon reminds me of Heritage, vintage Guerlain, Danger, Pour Homme Parfum by the House of Roger Dove. Again, the newer reformulations from Guerlain for Heritage are not as bad. I could live with it, but vintage is where my heart lies at. And so I have 2 bottles of Pardon. That's what I was trying to get at. So Pardon is this chocolate patchouli, kind of masculine. I love Coromandel by the House of Chanel, the less exclusive line. I love Heritage. The patchouli in Heritage is what Pardon reminds me of. Pardon being number 1 from Nazamato for me at the moment, my current standing of. I've worn Baraonda as scent of the day today. I love Baraonda, but Baraonda is kind of fighting with Absinthe. So I guess in summers, Pardon would be Nazamato from the House of Nazamato, number 1. Pardon in winters also happens to be number 1 for the winter and fall. But in the winters, I prefer wearing Baraonda, whereas in the summers, or when I want to wear something more challenging, I'd love to wear Absinthe by the House of Nazamato. So Baraonda and Absinthe fight for the number 2 place. The number 3 is Black Afghano And number 4 or number 5, if you want to take the ranking in that way, would be Duro. Duro is one that didn't move me as much. Silver Musk, I think it is. Fantomas, Blamage are ones I want to try, but I'm not sure if I want to spend any money on those. I'm not sure. Let's see how it goes. Yeah. One that I want to own is Sudden Naso, and if you've seen the advertisement for Sudden Naso by the House of Nazamato, it's all the vices captured in that small 30 ml extrait bottle, and it's a perfume that I'd love to get my hands on. It's kind of like your dirty animalic musk from the past, and hats off to Alessandro Gottieri, who does these compositions. He does not disclose any notes, but then if you've been into perfumes for a while, you'd probably be able to break down certain nuances and facets that you get from the composition. A lot of people would probably be able to break it down note for note. I might not be able to do that, but Sadhanaso happens to be one I'd like to purchase next. Let's see how that goes. I'd like to have backup bottles of Pardon. I'd like to have backup bottles of Absinthe. I'd like to have backup bottles of Para Onda. Black Afano, maybe just another 30 ml extrait bottle should do. I've tried Orto Parisi, also a house, sister house, you might say, for Nazamato, and the perfumer for that as well is Alessandro Gottieri. He does not disclose the notes for those as well. The only two that I have in my possession, and the ones after trying out multiple times, is Sturkis being my number 1 and Bocanera being my number 2. So Bocanera has this chocolate chili kind of composition. Sturkis translated into English translates exactly a dictionary translation to sweet poop, a sweet pile of crap. I'm not sure if it smells like that. Maybe yes, maybe no. Stay tuned to watch the full reviews on these perfumes coming soon. So Rien Intense Incense was a big win for me. It was a blind buy. After all these years, hearing all the reviewers talk very highly of it, and with the winters coming in, it's a beast mode fragrance that I would like to wear in the winters. My second win was Soulage by the house of Shusmu Kajal. Baronda, for sure a win by the house of Nazamato. So reviews for all of these coming soon. I'm yet to decipher Ganymede extrait. I'm not exactly able to break it down right now. It's kind of complex, maybe futuristic. It's definitely in a class of its own. It's unique, so it gets a 10 on 10 for uniqueness. People would be guessing as to what perfumes you're wearing, right? But the other 3 that I mentioned are total wins, and Tony Uomi we already have a full review on, and it's one of my beloved possessions in my collection. Until the next time, I hope to see you guys soon. Keep your fragrance game on, keep your smelling game on. Stay tuned to the channel. Do like, subscribe and share this video if you take anything of value from it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being there live. That's it from me, signing out. Your host Karamullah Kadwani signing out. Until the next time, ciao.